Did you see that viral video yesterday of the little boy crying about being bullied and the heartwarming outpouring of support for him on social media? Did you? Yeah, you saw that. It was so nice. Well, it's ruined. We will analyze why our culture of insta-fame and slacktivism means that we just can't have nice things. Then Ariel Davidson and Amber Athey joined the panel of deplorables to talk Jimmy Kimmel's slanderous exploitation of his own son. A lot of children being exploited today. Sarah Huckabee Sanders smacking around fake news. And Senator Elizabeth Warren, Hiawatha's calling her Senate colleague, Kirsten Gillibrand, a slut. I'm Michael Knowles, and this is The Michael Knowles Show. That was fast. That was a real fast news cycle yesterday. You saw this little kid, Keaton Jones. This video goes viral, but the Insta culture has now taken what used to be 15 minutes of fame. It is now 15 seconds of fame before we love somebody and then we just have to destroy that person and move on to the next whatever it is. For those of you who didn't see it, this is Keaton Jones and the viral video that we all saw yesterday.
Why do they bully? Why do you find joy in taking innocent people and finding a way to be mean to them? It's not okay.
Now, this is, on the one hand, it's heartbreaking to watch this little kid crying about being bullied. Obviously, there's something, I think, in all of us that just hates bullies. Bullies are just the worst. We know, we feel righteous anger toward them. Sometimes people don't understand when they're being the ones being bullied. So all these people on the left are saying, yeah, stand up to bullies. And by the way, if you don't want to do exactly what I say, I'm going to shut down your business, or I'm going to shut down your cake shop, or I'm going to shut down your florist shop. But it's heartbreaking. It's heartwarming. It's not exactly man bites dog. You know, kids get bullied all the time. That's a fact of elementary school and middle school. It isn't going to change, I don't think. But okay, that's fine. It's very nice. As a result of this video going viral, every single celebrity on Earth, I believe, responded to offer support. So Snoop Diggity Doodap tweeted, "Say, little man, you got a friend in me for life. Hit me on DM so we can chop it up. Love is the only way to beat hate." Very nice. The UFC says, "Hey, Keaton Jones, you have friends here at the UFC, buddy. Today and always stand with Keaton." Then Donald J. Trump Jr. said, "This boy is incredibly brave, and the video really got me. Dana White, if he takes you up on your offer to see UFC headquarters, I would be honored to host him and his family at our place if they need somewhere to stay." Chris Evans, "Stay strong, Keaton. Don't let them make you turn cold. I promise it gets better. While those punks at your school are deciding what kind of people they want to be, how would you and your mom like to come to the Avengers premiere in LA next year?" That's pretty nice. That sounds pretty good. Katy Perry says, "This broke my heart today. Please be kind to one another." Mark Ruffalo, "Little buddy, I was bullied as a kid. You're right, it gets better. You are my personal superhero. You got a pal in the Hulk." Monica Lewinsky said, "Keaton, I'm so sorry you're being treated this way. You don't deserve an ounce of pain. They'd be lucky to be friends with you. It gets better." I'm not going to make any jokes about that. Obviously, there are many. Ryan Seacrest said, "Keaton Jones, your curiosity and kindness will overcome this moment and bring you many better days to come." Enrique Iglesias, heartbreaking to see this. "Keaton, you're strong to say these things and care so much for others. Team Keaton." I can't go on. I mean, obviously that was a lot. There are like hundreds more. There are so many of these. So it was a little strange. It was a little strange that every single person with a blue check mark started tweeting. I sent out a little tweet about being bullied. I think everybody feels some empathy for this because everyone gets bullied and most people bully too. And that's just a fact of being in elementary school and middle school. We have seen this viral culture before. It looks like it's accelerating, though. Someone started a GoFundMe campaign. That's where you crowdfund, you raise money online. They started a GoFundMe for this kid. It raised $55,000. For what? What are they raising the money for? I don't know. What is a kid going to spend $55,000 on? He's like 9 years old or something. But they fund it because we feel bad for the kid. What can I do? I can give him money. I can click. I can hashtag. That's all that we can do. I don't even know if the kid's going to get money. I don't think the guy is connected to his family. So anyway, it's a little weird, but it's clearly self-indulgent. Whatever. It's nice. Who cares? But of course, we had to destroy it. We had to destroy this poor kid. So they found a photo. All of these internet people found a photo of Keaton's mother standing next to a Confederate flag. one or two photos of this. He's a kid from Tennessee. There were Confederate flags around. So the left pounced. Tariq Nasheed, I actually couldn't see this tweet because he blocked me. One time I tweeted his own words at him and he blocked me for it. But I did see this in news coverage. Tariq Nasheed, who I'm not convinced isn't just a right-wing troll, by the way. But anyway, prominent lefty Tariq Nasheed says, that viral video of Keaton Jones talking about being bullied is heartbreaking, and I feel sympathetic toward that child. But his mom, Kimberly, on the other hand, is a suspected racist who makes very problematic posts bullying black protesters. She didn't make problematic posts. She was standing next to a Confederate flag. People interpret that however they like, but she wasn't bullying people. I don't know what it means to be a suspected racist. You're under investigation. Bob Mueller has been appointed to see if you're really a racist. Doesn't mean a whole lot. But anyway, more lefties pounced on this. It is the brutal consequence of social media culture and slacktivism. We just need more clicks. So, when you post something on Facebook or Twitter, you do get a dopamine rush. You think, oh, will people like this? Ooh, I got a like. Great. Oh, I'll get another one. I'll get another retweet. And those highs and those lows have to go more quickly and more quickly, and they have to be more extreme and more extreme. So what used to be a very long news cycle has now become a 24-hour news cycle, has now become an 8-hour news cycle, and it all switches over. It cuts both ways, too. The mother exploited her child and put him on the internet and made him go viral, and people are now exploiting this child further because we have to talk about it. It's a cultural event. It's a sympathetic story, but then we need a villain. We need somebody to tear down. The story was too nice without it. They did this to Ken Bone. I don't know if you remember Ken Bone. Back during the 2016 presidential debates, there was a nice-looking man in a red sweater with a mustache, and he became an Insta-celebrity. Here's Ken Bone.
What steps will your energy policy take to meet our energy needs, while at the same time remaining environmentally friendly and minimizing job loss for fossil power plant workers?
So he became a meme because he just looks sort of silly. He looks like a cartoon character, so they really liked him. He's so respectful during the debate. He asked a serious question. He looked hopeful. And so anyway, he became insta-famous after he appeared on television with the candidates. But it was too nice. We can't have that. That cycle gets old after a day or two. So now we have to make him into a villain. Someone on Reddit found out that he had committed 2 egregious crimes. One, he had looked at the widely published naked photos of Jennifer Lawrence. And I think that makes him the only man in America to ever look at the completely ubiquitous nude photos of one of the most beautiful and famous celebrities in the world. It's really awful. It's unbelievable that they would let that man back out in public. So he did that, and also he posted something on Reddit and said that perhaps it wasn't murder for George Zimmerman to kill Trayvon Martin. Perhaps it was in self-defense. Some of the evidence showed that. Perfectly reasonable, and so he became a villain, and his reputation was destroyed just as quickly as his fame came about. Former Facebook executives have been admitting just this effect. This came out today. Former Facebook Vice President for User Growth, Chamath Palihapitiya, I'm sure I butchered that, said he feels, quote, tremendous guilt for creating tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works. He went on, quote, the short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation, mistruth. This is not about Russian ads. This is a global problem. It is eroding the core foundations of how people behave by and between each other. Facebook's founding president, Sean Parker, criticized the company the same way. He said it, quote, exploits a vulnerability in human psychology by creating a social validation feedback loop. To discuss that and much more, we will have to bring on our panel of deplorables. But first, before we bring on our panel, don't forget our 3rd episode of The Conversation is coming today at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, featuring the one and only big boss man himself, Ben Shapiro, Fox News Power Player of the Week. Subscribe today to be a part of The Conversation and ask Ben live questions, which he will answer for everyone to hear. The episode of The Conversation will stream live on the Ben Shapiro Facebook page and the Daily Wire YouTube channel. It will be free for everyone to watch, but only subscribers can ask the questions. Many are called, but few are chosen. To ask questions as a subscriber, log into our website, dailywire.com, head over to the conversation page to watch the live stream. After that, just start typing into the Daily Wire chat box, where Ben will answer questions in the order they're entered into the live feed for an hour. So subscribe. You have to do it. Go over there and subscribe. Get your questions answered by Ben Shapiro today at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, and join the conversation. Okay, now to our panel. We have from the Federalist, Ariel Davidson, and we have from the Daily Caller, Amber Athey, an all-female panel of deplorables. Thank you, Lord. Ariel, social media allows conservatives to crack the mainstream media monopoly on information and get their views out there. Isn't that a good thing?
I would think so, yes. But I think what happens is social media tends to turn people into keyboard warriors. And so I think that there's a sense of boldness that can sometimes be helpful, but more often than not can be extremely inflammatory. So I think there is a give and take when it comes to social media. It's definitely been a way for people to exit their bubble, but it's also been a way for people to reinforce their bubble. Now that you can share your block lists on Twitter, or you can also just on Facebook choose to friend someone or choose to unfriend them based on the material they post. I think it does sort of reinforce our perception of a worldview, which is why, when Donald Trump was elected, there was sort of a collective meltdown on the left. And I think a lot of that was because social media had created this false sense of where political opinions lie in the world, and that can be somewhat dangerous. So I think in some ways, social media can do more harm than good, especially when it's used to sort of bolster, again, these keyboard warriors and people that take to Facebook and Twitter to get their political anger out instead of having a face-to-face conversation.
There is that aspect. The unfriending phenomenon is really strange to me. There have been a number of studies that show that people on the left are much more likely to unfriend or disconnect from you on social media if you're a conservative than vice versa, than conservatives doing it to lefties. And I think the reason for that is because lefties have never heard anybody contradict their opinions. They preach tolerance and diversity, and they're shocked to find out that anybody disagrees with them. But for the other aspect of that is that we're more than our political opinions. People are more than our political opinions. So if you sit and have dinner with somebody and you find out they voted for crooked Hillary, that dirty, rotten felon, and my third cousin, if I saw that on Facebook, I might just ignore that person or look away or unfriend them or something. But in person, you have to talk to them, and it might be interesting. Different perspectives make the world much more beautiful. They make the world more interesting, and they help you think about what you really believe. A lot of that kind of disappears on social media. That said, CNN would not give me a show. CNN is never going to give me a show, and if these new media didn't exist, we wouldn't have a platform. Now, Amber, if social media have made our culture faster, more knee-jerk, more hysterical, is there any way back from here, or are we just headed for even tighter news cycles?
Oh gosh, that's a really hard question. I don't see it really getting that much better. I hate to be a pessimist, but the more that I've been on social media, it seems like the more angry people get, the more political they get. I remember being on Facebook back in high school, and it was just about sharing prom pictures and, posting cat gifs. And now it's like everybody is sharing a political opinion. It's all about getting those imaginary points from your friends or your followers. Everybody on Twitter is seeing who is the next person that I can drag, and then within 24 hours, they're on to the next evil villain, like we saw in the Keaton case. So it's definitely really dangerous that I think it's great that more people have a platform to express themselves in ways that they couldn't before. But as Ariel was saying, at the same time, it can really bolster sort of a almost bullying where people are constantly able to attack anybody that they want at any time. And it really piles on when there's so many other people who are there to join in on the crusade.
And it's obviously been formulated. It's been meticulously arranged, these technology, so that you will keep going back and you'll keep clicking and you'll keep tweeting and you'll keep piling on whoever. That aspect on psychology is probably not very healthy, but the effect on politics seems to be quite healthy. Could you imagine a world in which we had an administration like President Trump's? Excellent conservative policy, legislation, nominations, cultural battles from the NFL to political correctness to the news media. Could you ever imagine that without Twitter? Donald Trump's appeal, his great strength is with Twitter. It may be the case that it has bad psychological effects, but politically, I'm not sick and tired of winning yet. I'm not. Try to convince me that I am. Won't happen. Okay, we have more shameless exploitation of children to get to with Jimmy Kimmel. We've got to talk about the slut shaming, the slut shaming, I don't know, one of those, between Laya Watha and Kirsten Gillibrand. But if you don't subscribe to the Daily Wire, we can't make that happen. Sorry, folks. If you go to dailywire.com right now, you can subscribe. It's $10 a month or $100 for an annual membership. And you will get me, you'll get the Andrew Klavan Show, you get the Ben Shapiro Show. You can submit questions to the conversation. Forget all of that. None of that matters. This is the thing, guys. The Leftist Tears tumbler. I drink many beverages out of it. I drink coffee, tea. Obviously, I pour whiskey in my morning coffee. But what it's really suited for are those salty and delicious leftist tears that you see around you all day and every day during the Trump administration. So make sure you go over there right now. You can have them hot or cold, always salty and delicious. We'll be right back.